Rapid fire, I have 3 questions, just random. What qualifies you to be President of the United States?
What qualifies me to be President of the United States is my life experience. People are going to think it's my Starbucks experience. It's what I've learned along the way. It's sharing success. It's recognizing that every business decision is not an economic one. And it's an understanding, a real understanding, that somebody has to restore the promise of America. And what qualifies me is that I will be a leader of the country, of all American people, that people will trust and admire because I will understand. I have walked in their shoes. I'm on both sides of the equation. I'm somebody who is successful. I'm somebody who came from the projects, and I understand the American people.
Who was the best Republican president in the past 50 years? Best Dem.
I have great respect for Ronald Reagan. Just came from the Ronald Reagan Library. The thing that I took away from Ronald Reagan, aside from all of the wonderful things he did, that really struck me, especially compared to the current person who is despicable in the Oval Office, Ronald Reagan never took his jacket off in the Oval Office in 8 years. Why? Because of his respect and the dignity of the office. That needs to be restored.
How much,
Democrat, FDR.
How much does an 18-ounce box of Cheerios cost?
An 18-ounce box of Cheerios?
I don't. See, now here's the deal.
I don't need Cheerios.
Here's the deal.
Yeah.
You ask us.
Yeah.
You know, like budgets for the VA. We're going to ask you questions about
Ask me anything you want. I don't need Cheerios. I'm sorry.
Okay. It's $4.
Is it $4?
Yeah.
It's a lot.
Really?
Yeah. It's
wow.
Yeah.
Surely it couldn't be more than a few shares of Class A common stock. If Schultz thinks $4 is a lot, wait until he finds out how much a cup of coffee at Starbucks costs. Seriously, the guy sells bean water for the same price as what millions of minimum wage employees make in an hour. Now, the right might complain that this is a gotcha question, which is fair because why would Howard Schultz know anything about breakfast items? I mean, at what point are these billionaires going to realize that they have nothing in common with the people that they're running to represent? He admitted himself that the reason he's running is because he's unhappy with Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez's proposal to implement a 70% marginal tax rate on Americans making over $10 million annually. Over $10 million. That's about 18,000 people, according to the most recent data from the IRS. He's literally running so that he doesn't have to pay a fair share. How's that for a leader?
So talk about the first couple of days, getting out there, getting the message.
Well, I must be doing something right to create so much interest and backlash from the Democratic Party. I mean, some of it is a surprise, but we expected to see some of the level of vitriol, but not to the extent it's been.
He claims he must be doing something right to have caused so much backlash. That is literally the opposite of doing something right. That's like O.J. Simpson from his prison cell. Well, I must be doing something right. The reason there's backlash is that the same guy who just criticized Trump as despicable,
The current person who is despicable in the Oval Office,
would most likely act as a spoiler for his campaign. If he's so against Trump as he claims, then why even attempt to run when, espousing mostly Democratic principles, he'd most likely siphon votes from the Democratic nominee? Do I think Schultz will run in the end? I think it'd take a special level of delusion to think he could win, but more likely it's a PR stunt to sell his new book because in the end, whether he's running to keep his tax rate low or keep book sales high, it only comes down to one thing for billionaires: money.